Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to discuss another chapter of One Piece, chapter 1018, Jinbei versus Who. Before we begin, the cover page is of page 1, trying to read a book. Apparently him as a child trying to read a book about dinosaurs while being interrupted by Uti, her sister, with asking her to play with him with all these stuffed dinosaurs around them. It's like a sort of cute, it's like a sort of cute sibling dynamic, that we've seen between the two, in which, page one's the more serious, while Uti wants, pay to pay attention to her, and here she wants him to play with their toys and all that stuff. But yeah. So anyway, the chapter begins with a, hold on a second, I'm just going to enlarge the screen here. As inside as we continue to see, the headliners and gifters who have joined the Ninja Minx Pirate Samurai Alliance. I probably got that wrong. I probably got the title of that wrong. Running amok as we see Hamlet attacking along with some other gifters, and apparently there's about 300 of them that have switched side. With the announcement saying it happened after that Tama appeared on the stage and gave an order to switch sides, and confirming to all of the beast pirates that this appears to be her power. So now you see the beast pirates trying to chase after her and trying to kill her, while Nami and Usopp try to get her to safety. However, they are protected by Daifago, I believe the name is, the Scorpion, prisoner warden. From all that stuff, the Vice Warden uses a sort of Scorpion Death Needle to take down the pursuers as he continues to protect them. And which is then followed by which then ends up getting a sort of like a lift from I believe the name is on a second. I should have gotten the Wikipedia pages up. I should have learned this by now. Rescued by Speed. I can't believe I've forgotten her name. I don't know, there's so many characters, but yeah. Speed offers them a lift, which Nami and Tama go on to ride her, much to Usopp's noise, saying how he seems to be left to run by himself. And then Gazaman has arrived there, saying how they've noticed a Kamachio, I believe that is Tama's the pet dog thing. It's giant dog thing, or lion, I'm not really sure, but he's injured, but they'll take care of him, which she is thankful for. With Nami commenting about, how remarkable Tama's power is, with Usopp saying how they don't really make friends on a battlefield, which is a bit ironic coming from him, given the fact that he befriended two giants. Omi and Kashu or something, or I don't know, and made them switch sides on MS Lobby while we're feeling that the Marines have been lying to them about their captains. But anyway, Zeus appears from from the climate attack in his cloud form, asking if he's Nami's servant like before, but with Nami saying that's not the case, and that they are sidekick or partner, depending on which translation. Whatever way, it's more of an improvement with Zeus, or happy and lovey-dovey kind of thing, or happy with what Nami says, decides to attack more beast pirates to get them out of Nami's way, declaring him as his sidekick or partner. So clearing the way for them, with Usopp commenting about how, I think it's Usopp or maybe Speed, about how, Usopp is now on the back but lying down on the horse. On Speed, as you will, saying how she's also picked up some remarkable allies as well. Anyway, we learn that besides the gifters who have just suddenly switched sides due to Tama's power, It appears that some of the members of the Beast Pirates from the Pleasures and Waiters have also swapped sides and are also attacking. Let's see. So yeah, so a roughly about so it seems like roughly 1,000 of them have joined and it caused a surprise betrayal. So more of Kaido's forces are, switching sides. And apparently they're talking about 1,000 or 2,000 their forces. I don't know. It depends on which translation. Let's see. With the CP90 and the and they're sort of like confident, and they're sort of like the hosts for them. I suppose they're sort of service girls, I guess. I can't recall what they are really. Talking about how their group of 30,000 are now being dropped to 20,000. And apparently when adding to the casualties and the traitors and all that stuff, the numbers have dropped even further, revealing that the numbers are now 16,000 versus 9,000. Let's see. And the numbers may grow further depending on the gifter's efforts and that stuff. However, the CP0 end up saying it doesn't matter which side wins, it does not matter, but there's one death that they need to make sure confirms to happen before this is all over. With another commenting on things saying, does it really matter, since the classified information they had is rather old and maybe a bit irrelevant and no real harm to the government. However, the other CPI agent with the holding the mask thing says it doesn't matter, as it needs to set an example and all that stuff and make sure no one lives to tell the tale. With the mask, with the mask and the top hat saying, assuming he's surviving, and the main CP0 guy that we know, the one with the scar mask and all that stuff that was there to announce in Dressrosa, says that the person who they're talking about is fighting Jinbei after also Who's Who, which is probably going to be pretty obvious, really, since, he was in CP9. With Who's Who's crew running out of the battle as he's now taking serious, as he's now trying to use a moonwalk on Jinbei. With Jinbei asking, so you're bearing a grudge on, Luffy because of, the whole devil fruit thing? With him commenting that technically his grudge is against Shanks for stealing the fruit in the first place. Let's see, but he continues to attacking with Fang Pistol. However, Jinbei deflects it with his almond hockey. But since Luffy has the straw hat and the gum fruit, it is inherited from him. He'll be a target for his rage, since he seems to view Luffy as a sort of disciple of Shanks, which Luffy never really officially joined the crew to become an apprentice. So there's that. Which might be an interesting what if of Luffy becomes a cabin boy for the Redhead Pirates. Which would be interesting, because that means he never met Ace and never meets his fellow Straw Hats. And also, Grob loses a grandson very quickly. And never gets all that intense training from Garp and all that stuff, but serves to be useful. But who knows? He might have benefited from Ritzy being trained by Shanks, but yeah. Anyway, continuing more of those Fang pistols, they break through the floor and into the next room below, attacking members of the Beast Pirates, and I think even biting off the arm of one of them as they notice who's the attack as they're fighting. But yeah, as who just laughs about how not even Jinbei's color of almond hockey can block it. Let's see, as he comments on it. And then says a sort of racist comment against fishermen, which Jinbei saying, wrote him how that casual racism is, out of style these days, because it's granted we still see racism with fishmen and Shabby Archipelago, so yeah, but either way it's racism as well, of course, but yeah. With Who's apologizing, and then about to attack, but wants to ask him something. We're using something called Fang Flash to attack, which seems to be an almond haki of his fangs. With Jinbei shielding himself while grabbing onto the fangs to make sure it doesn't bite him. With Jinbei using a fishman karate move called Low Tide Shoulder Throw, seemingly damaging Who's Who, and then using Water Shot, and I think him dodging with a move called Shave, commenting about that hurt. But then he wanted to ask Jinbei about a story he heard in jail from a guard. Let's see, during all the while he faced all the torment he did in prison. Apparently there was about a figure that apparently would say that slaves would pray to in a long distance pass, a legendary warrior that they believed would one day free them. Apparently the sun god Mika. Apparently it did exist, or was it a dream they made up? Whatever the case, the thought brings smiles to them and all that stuff. So he actually, so as he's fighting Jinbei, he claims that he prayed for this guy to save him one day. However, anyone to save him from the prison. With Jinbei a bit confused about why they would ask him about this. And the reason he does that is because he led the Sun Pirates, and that it was a crew made up of former slaves of fishermen, and fishermen have a bit of history of slavery. And then uses a finger pistol move, but it's like a finger pistol spot with multiple finger jabs at Jinbei. With him seeming to try and defend with arm and hanky, but you can clearly tell that he's getting damaged and all that stuff. With the Beast Pirates cheering on Who's Who, able to take on like a warlord. With him commenting about how the prison guard who told him eventually disappeared a few days later. And then he started to realize that he might be in danger too due to this information, so he tried to escape in case the legend was, deadly. So he wants Jinbei to tell him everything he knows about this sun god. However, one of his fingers eventually breaks, and both of the fingers eventually break against Jinbei's armament haki. And then Jinbei uses another fisherman karate of sharp grip to grab onto like his wrists, and hands, which really hurt Who's Who. But Jinbei says he has nothing to say to the likes of him, shocking the Beast Pirates around as Who's Who's tried to keep attacking him to get out, but there was no effect. Tries to use Fang Pistol once again. However, Jinbei is able to block it with his or at least doesn't take too much damage from it with his headbutt and all that stuff, and then uses a fisherman karate. As Who's Who's mentions how he seems to have become much more serious, or much more angrier, or snapped, if you will. And before Who can escape, Jinbei steps on his tail. With Jinbei saying if Who's going to go on about, someone's history, uses the attack called Demon Brick Fist to punch him in the face, and it seems like, as he comments, be ready for when you're stepping onto the fist or something, or take the fight seriously, as Who seems to take a massive hit to the face as he's starting to fall down, much to the shock of the Beast Pirates, and you just end the chapter with Jinbei's stare glare. And One Piece will be able to break until July 18th. First of all, I will admit, I did make my comments about the cover for the chapter with Who's and Pepe, so page 1. So I'm not going to make many comments there. However, I do like the fact that the Beast Pirates were quickly able to deduce that it is Tama that has turned their allies, from the gifters and the headliners against them with the devil fruit power, with some sort of power and all that stuff. And then they need to take her down if they want to reverse the effects, possibly, which I assume. Well, as we can tell, Tama does not need to be knocking out Tama, does not reverse the effects, with with sugar being passed out and all that stuff with her toy fruit. However, so that means they're going to try and kill her to see if that can reverse the effects, which I assume it probably will. Which does make me wonder the question if what Tama is doing is a bit unethical of controlling people to, let's see, to like controlling people and all that stuff. Though, granted, they are the Beast Pirates, as we've seen, are not very nice figures, but still, no. And it's also a war zone they're currently in, but but I'm not sure. But I guess it's going to be an ethnical question. I think One Piece probably isn't going to really address because, I think it's if you don't, perhaps best not to think too much about it. But yeah, I do like how. Now it seems that Usopp and Nami's goal is to protect Tama as they try to as Usopp is grabbing her and they're running away from the enemies. And it seems like the three main headliners or gifters that smile users that Tama went with. Dafugu, Speed, and Basilman, I believe it is. No, Gazelman. Let's see. So, being her sort of like bodyguards and all that stuff, and Gazelman may go to treat Kamachi's wounds and all that stuff. So I do like the joke about how when Nami and Tama got on Speed when she was offering them a ride, Usopp says, "Hey, what about me?" and all that stuff. It's like for Usopp, one of those funny bits of like Usopp's cowardly behavior. But yeah, I do kind of find it a bit funny. Like I said a bit earlier, I find it funny about how Usopp, saying how it's remarkable about the whole. With Usopp and Nami commenting about Tama's remarkable power and saying how with Usopp saying you don't make friends at the battlefield, even though the Straw Hats do that nearly every single time when they enter a fight. Like I said earlier, Usopp with NS Lobby. I guess maybe on Fishman Island when the Straw Hats freed the pirates, prisoner slaves, and all that stuff, and the new Fishman pirates. They made friends with former gladiators in the Colosseum and in the Battle of Doflamingo. Luffy made many friends during Imperial Down, or allies, if you will. And even on Marineford, though no one really switched sides on that one. They were either Marines versus pirates, so there's that, but yeah. Be impressed, Whitebeard. And they even made allies during their attempts to rescue Sanji and assassinate Big Mom. I like how Nami's decided to have for Zeus to be instead of servitude and all that stuff because, Straw Hats are a group of pirates that believe in freedom and all that stuff, or particularly their captain does, but they all probably agree as well. So instead of being servant, Nami decides to now that Zeus is fully committed to being on her side, instead of being a servant, they're going to be partners or sidekick, depending on which translation. But either way, Nami has Zeus's full loyalty and is able to spunk him into doing a lightning attack. So with Usopp, and then talking about how Nami's persuasive skills are also effective. Anyway, it's also interesting to learn that at least, besides the 300 gifters, at least 1,000 to 2,000. Probably 1,700 actually, since the 300 makes 2,000. Beast Pirates have, also switched, so it's not just the, the small users, it's also regulars of Kaido's crew being probably gifters or waiters, and have started to attack their former allies now, causing 2,000 casualties, which means now that as I said earlier, the numbers are 16,000 versus 9,000. The Beast Pirates have lost 4,000, a further 4,000 more crew members, either by treachery or casualties from the traitors. While the Straw Hats have gone from 7,000 to 9,000. So now the Straw Hats have, while they're still outnumbered, Then now, let's see, they have managed to gain enough allies and taken enough enemies down to make, during the chaos of Tama's commands. So now the Beast Pirates no longer even outnumber them fully 2-1, barely 2-1 and all that stuff, because because the Straw Hats have now more than just slightly more than half of the Beast Pirates' numbers and all that stuff. So that means that if the Straw Hats, the Ninja, Samurai, and the defective allies and the defective Beast Pirates play their cards right and such, the Beast Pirates numbers could continue to shrink with the numbers and all that stuff, and it may be at the end of this, the Straw Hats side might start to outnumber the Beast Pirates, as now that there's been at least 6,000 traitors, yeah, and I think the total alliance forces are now 11,400 by the end of this. So yeah, I do find it interesting that the CP0 guys confirmed that. What might have implied that they might have seemed to be favoring, the Beast Pirates and Big Mom's side at the time. In truth, it doesn't really matter to them who wins or lose. Either way, they get rid of one group of infamous pirates, such as either the Worst Generation goes or the two of the Yonko. Either way, it doesn't really matter to them, as they're both troublemakers for the world government. However, they're more prioritizing the death of Who's Who may have government knowledge on them. So it seems like whatever who might have escaped, when he escaped, he might have confirmed that he learned secret knowledge, and from what we've seen, it appears to be this sun god called Nika, who apparently it might have been referenced or sort of referenced a bit doing Skypiea, which means I really need to check out that arc, because I still haven't fully read that. But yeah, apparently Luffy did this sort of similar dance to it, so there are now theories that Luffy is connected to the sun god and all that stuff, or Nika has some connection to the fisherman, as Jinbei clearly seems to recognize the name and all that stuff. And he's very curious to see about what Jinbei knows about it, since Who's being a bit of a casual racist by saying, by insulting fishermen, saying that, fishermen are Netsu's history about slave and him leading the Sun Pirates and all that. He should know about this. However, Jinbei is not really answering with a sort of half-assed resolve, or of his lack of care for another person's culture, as you will, and ends up continuing to fight him. But yeah. So yeah, I do like how Who's Who. We also confirmed that it was Shanks that stole the devil fruit from Who's Who and all that, and the world government. It wasn't from one pirate group to Shanks stealing from them, but yeah, it was actually Shanks. And Who's Who, has confirming that Who's Who has a grudge against Luffy because, well, not only did he eat the devil fruit that ruined his career in the world government, but he's also he also views Luffy as a follower, or maybe even disciple, or maybe admirer of Shanks and all that stuff, or someone that definitely has a connection to Shanks and wants him dead. Which now makes me want. It's just a shame that really, because now I really want to see Luffy and Who's Who reacting, because I think Luffy would probably be on what's none of my business and all that stuff. Though I think he'll be pretty shocked to learn that the government, if he ever gets told that the government had his devil fruit and there was someone that had a grudge against him. But yeah, but who knows? But yeah. I do like how the use of the Haki. Jinbei's using his Haki to try and block, or at least counter Who's Who's attacks, and I'm liking how powerful the Fang pistol he does is, which be able to break through ceiling walls and floors and all that stuff, and even bite off a member of his own crew's arm and all that stuff. However, I'm really enjoying the Jinbei's moves, and with the exception of and I like the fact that since well, which of course is titled Jinbei versus Who's Who. So yeah, besides 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, about 4, maybe 4.5 pages of let's see this chapter. The majority of it is just focus on Jinbei and who's fighting, with a little brief bit of information about Nika, this new Nika the Sun God, who maybe, for all we know, maybe an ancient figure during the Void Century, for all we know, like Joe Boy, or maybe somehow he's connected to Joe Boy. But yeah, either way, One Piece has created its own original god, I believe, unless this might be some god that... Oh, I'm just going to type in the words Nika. I'm just going to see what mythology that might be. The Nika, it seems to be a nickname, so I'm just going to type in god. The closest I get is a Nike mythology thing, so yeah, let's see, so I probably need to type in Nika in the One Piece wiki. So, oh, apparently there's a... Let's see, a mermaid quintuplet with the same name called Makada in the mermaid quintuplets. I don't know what that is. Anyway, the trivia. No, this seems to be just basically various on sun god cultures and all that stuff. So it's like the original name and all that stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I do find it interesting how the world government does not seem to want the name of this sun god to be known to the public, since a god apparently was kidnapped and Who's Who feared for his life also disappeared, just to have it go. But yeah, I like how since of course the chapter's titled, like I said, let's see, most of this fight is Who's Who versus Jinbei, and my favorite shot is definitely the one at the end where Jinbei punches him with the move called Demon Brick Fist to his face. I'm not sure if that's broken his teeth or anything. I have no idea if who's knocked out, but either way, let's see. It could be that this is the end of the fight, as that was just the killer move at the end, though it might just be one more chapter of the fight following up. We do not know, because we have to wait for the break to be over and all that stuff. Either way, if this is what we get of the fight, I'd say I'm fine with it, as we got quite a bit out of the fight, seeing Jinbei fighting, both using, Jinbei using his Fishman karate, and who's using both his Devil Fruit attacks with like the Fang attacks, and also CP9 moves and all that stuff. So yeah, overall, I give this chapter a 9 out of 10. Due to the fact that it was an impressive fight between Jinbei and Who's Who. I have no idea if it's over, but if it is, I mean, fair enough, but at least we get to see a bit of it. We also learn a bit more of the mythology, of One Piece, where there's this sun god called Nika, that that supposedly freed slaves, and it might have some connection to the Fishmen pirates. Or connection to Fishman himself entirely, but... However, Jinbei's not, telling Who's Who due to his, casual fisherman racism and half-assed, resolve and all that stuff. Confirmation that it was Shanks that stole the Devil Fruit, and also learning of the numbers. An update on the numbers, as it's not just, the 300, 300, gift, smart users. Another, 1,700, regulars of Kaido's crew has also joined sides. Sort of, making it less than, that was making both sides nearly just, the Straw Hats now having just slightly more than half of what the Beast Pirates have. And I assume those numbers will continue to go. And we're learning that the CP0 want Who's Who dead because of what you might know and all that stuff. So yeah. Overall, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next fight, though. For all we know, we might end up seeing, Frankie versus Sasaki. Let me get the name up for, the Topiropo. Yeah, Sasaki, or maybe Robin and Brock against Black Maria. Anyway, let's see. Overall, let's see. I'm Blue Star Saber signing out. Thank you for joining me for this review, and I look forward to the next One Piece chapter. Goodbye, everyone.